Thanks for joining us. And today we're going to talk about moving meditation. People, when they talk about meditation, usually talk about sitting very still and doing pranayama techniques, sometimes in very laborious postures, such as padasana, the lotus pose, or other poses. And you don't have to be sitting still to get the benefits of meditation. In fact, in Taoist Internal Alchemy, we talk about the whole aspect of engaging your body. And that's really what moving meditation is about. It's about engaging movement to get to feel the energetic pathways throughout your body. And the transformation that happens while you are doing that motion leads to these an inner transformation and these expansion of states of consciousness. And so that's what we do. Now, the thing about meditation is that when some people might take a very kind of mental approach to meditation, right? And so that it's very much about kind of trying to think your way into meditating. And that's not so good. And so that's why we try and want to create to balance our meditation practices to do moving practices as well, right? So basically they're Qigong exercises, and Qi is like the subtle breath of nature, this energy, this life force that flows throughout our body, and Gong means skill. So Qigong is skill with Qi, with a subtle breath. And we do it by doing these moving practices, which are really great for engaging our bodies, right? So having internal transformation is really dependent on being able to feel inside of your body. And so we talk about how we have these patterns of resistance, which basically stop the life force from flowing through and expressing itself in a new dynamic way, right? So we talk about these limitations, or people might say baggage from the past. And a lot of that is in our bodies. So if we take an approach to meditation where we're only engaging our mental cognitive facility, our thinking process, to try and create some sort of catalyst for change, it's going to get us only so far. And that's why using these moving practices is so great. In Taoist Internal Alchemy, we talk about sort of levels of Qi at this Qi level, this breath of life, but also at the Jing level, which is basically this life force that becomes the bodily substance, right? It's connected in with the bodily pathways. And so when we do these gentle moving exercises, we're engaging our body, we're engaging that Jing level. Patterns of resistance can be at the Jing level, which is why we do moving practice, to engage the body, to engage the Jing level, and to help to lead to this states of inner transformation. So it's really interesting because, you know, once you start doing some things like ocean breathing, right? You're rocking forward shifting your weight forward onto the balls of toes, rocking backwards onto the heels, right? You're doing this belly breathing, this ocean breathing, this feeling of opening, this expansion from your belly, from your abdomen area, right? You're using your arms to move, right? You're breathing, you're shifting your weight, you're using motion. And by doing that, you're tuning into your bodily substance, you're tuning into the Jing level. And if you do this for a couple of minutes, what you start to feel is something starts to move. Like there's this circulation, this current that starts to flow through your body. And by your sense interoception, you can feel something happening, right? Your blood starts to flow more harmoniously. These gentle rhythmic movements, right, are really great. They open us up from the inside, and we get these internal resolutions which lead to states of consciousness expansion, right? If we've just sit there meditating, we're not going to get those benefits. So we want to move our bodies, right? We can do the ocean breathing. We can do techniques where we're opening up the microcosmic orbit, right? By doing these motions of moving the Qi, guided by our bodies, by our breaths, by our intention, with visualization and other things, to move the chi in these energetic pathways, right? And it feels really good. And we're like, whoa, I start to feel something moving up my spine, right? You can feel that Jing level of that life force flowing through you. So the motion of doing moving meditation, if you will, is so very vital. There are some people that just say, okay, well, you're going to move your body in Tai Chi-like movements, and that's preparation for meditation, or yoga asanas are preparation for meditation. But at Modern Korea, we don't see things that way. Sometimes I won't actually even sit down to meditate at all. Sometimes I will just get absorbed in doing these Qigong exercises in these subtle movements and get those expanded states of consciousness and go into, what they would call the breathless states or the tranquil breath. And it is just the same for me as if I was sitting and doing like a deep meditation and not moving. So moving or not moving, it's a continuum, if you will. They're not exclusive. It doesn't mean that that you can't meditate while you're moving. Now, some people have called Tai Chi, as in Tai Chi Chuan, which is a martial art, as moving meditation. And it actually isn't, because the purpose for Tai Chi Chuan is self-defense, basically, right? So you're using your energetic flow to ward off an opponent, to use your energy to affect their structure, etc., with motion. So it doesn't lead to an internalization. What you need to do if you're doing any kind of movement is you need the motion to harmonize and connect in with your energy and draw it inside. So it's flowing inside. You're not projecting your energy outwards, because if you do martial arts, that's the point, is you're using internal power to direct it outwards to have an effect on your opponent. Now with Qigong, you're actually bringing your consciousness inside, allowing these gentle motions, these gentle movements, the breath, etc., to help to circulate the Qi inside. Right? And then what you will find is that by doing these motions, and especially when you engage the inner smile in the motion as well, starting to become aware of what your energetic architecture is. And there are impediments or resistance, patterns of resistance in your architecture. So we've got this, we talk about the meridian, the front and back meridians, basically they call the Renmai and the Dumai, the one that goes down the front of the body, down from the perineum, crown to the perineum, and then up the back from the base of the spine or perineum area up to the crown. Now, as you are doing like a microcosmic orbit type of Qigong, which is circulating the energy up with, motion, breath, etc., and you start to feel, sometimes you can feel that there is like something in this area, right? It could be throat, could be solar plexus, heart, whatever it is. There's like, it was smooth before, and then you run into this like denseness, right? And that is usually something where it's a pattern of resistance or a pattern of limitation in your chi flow that basically needs to get ironed out. So when you're doing these the Qigong exercises or meditation with movement, you are starting to encounter those things along your energetic architecture, throughout your energetic architecture. And that's really, really beneficial, because you might not actually really be aware that they're there, right? They have an effect on you because they become a limitation for the way that you can use your energy. So that's a really great thing about doing this moving meditation, is that you can start to become aware of those things. If you can open up your Mingmen through doing that Mingmen breathing, that ocean breathing, that's a really, really simple way to start to feel inside. And as you connect to that, and you can feel that energy expanding from inside you, that Qi expanding, then you are aware of, wait a minute, it expands to a certain point, but then it stops. Where does it stop, and what does that feel like? Usually what that means is that there's a pattern that you have there, a sort of a stagnant Qi pattern that is holding that energy from expanding in that area, right? So that's what we talk about as far as our patterns of resistance. It's basically, it's something that's there. It's an issue. It's an energetic stagnation. and you can become aware of it and smile into it. And if you're doing some kind of Qigong movement, you can smile into it, and the life force then starts to interact with that pattern of limitation, and then there's a resolution, right? So that's the real benefit about doing moving practice, right? So the ocean breathing is a practice that you can do, right? It's this gentle backwards and forward, shifting of the weight, being aware of the area of the Ming Men between the two kidneys, right? You can do that. You can also do techniques, at the beginning of Tai Chi Chuan, they have this technique, it's called like opening, the opening of Tai Chi, right? So what it is you're shifting forward onto the balls of your feet as your arms are shifting up, right? So it's like the chi is rising, and then you're shifting back and the palms are settling down and the chi is sinking. So in a way, it's like you can be aware of that. With this, it connects into the feeling of being grounded in the earth. So you're rising up with a breath on the inhale, and then shifting back as the chi sinks down to the earth on the exhale. So that can be a really great way to do these moving practices, right, as well. And then there are things that you can do. There's many Qigong motions. They can do another one is just as a gentle arm swinging, right? So it's like called riding the horse, where you're just shifting forward onto the balls of your toes, shifting back onto your heel and dropping down on the heels. It's dropping the body down to the ground and then grounding, right? So this is a really great way to just let go of stress, to get present in your body, right? And to allow the energy just to start to flow. When you do this kind of motion, what happens is the energy sinks, everything you're holding down starts to sink, and then the microcosmic orbit will start to spontaneously circulate, right? So this is a really great exercise where you can just kind of hang out, just really, you're dropping down to the ground, you're just releasing, and then you put your tongue to your palate behind your teeth, and then you just breathe. And you do this for like 5 minutes, and you'll feel super grounded, and your energy will start to circulate naturally. So, there are other practices, higher Qigong practices, which we teach on our membership section at Modern Kriya. So you can check that out if you're interested, right? We also have some Qigong exercises on Modern Kriya, which are the free part of the website. So you can check those out. But I really encourage you to rethink if you've heard or if you believe that meditation is only about sitting very still. It's not correct at all. What leads to expanded states of consciousness is inner transformation. It isn't sitting still. It isn't doing a particular technique, right? So whatever you're doing that helps to open up your inner space will lead to an expanded state of consciousness, which is really what the success bar is in meditation, if you will, right? And I'm telling you that you can get that by doing moving practices as well. So don't just think you need to be sitting there still, doing nothing or doing your pranayama techniques to be able to get some benefit. But I would say for a balanced approach, it's really good to do some moving practices. I mean, personally, I always do some moving practices, some Qigong practices, and then I usually go and I'll sit and I'll meditate, right? And I get this intensification of all the stuff that I was doing in the moving practice. I sit down and I'll do complementary techniques, meditation techniques, and then I get way more inner transformation than I ever did just doing sitting practice alone. So I think it's really important to engage yourself in getting your body moving, right? So check out our website, modernkriya.com. We've got, those, many different Qigong exercises, and on our membership account, we have, many Qigong practices and meditation that will lead you into very deep states and getting into lots of inner transformation, which is really, what the whole, Modern Kriya is about, really, is giving you the tools for your own inner transformation. So check those out. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to send me an email at info@modernkriya.com. Also check our website at modernkriya.com and our YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.